On the road of life, you're going to navigate some twists and turns. That's why it's best to have a friend. Two ladies, one show, endless wisdom. Your best life starts with self-reflection. Welcome to the show, Lady Melinda Boyer.
Well, welcome to the I Am Show.
Anna Devere. We should have thrown in endless laughter. That's what this show's going to provide.
I know, right?
Because we're
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say your name. Welcome to the I Am Show, Anna Devere.
Now we're all official, and this is our inaugural show. I can't be more delighted than to have you along for the joyride, Lady Melinda.
Oh, well, I am so excited. Ever since we hopped into a car and got together, I think our conversations haven't ended, and I don't think they ever will.
No, and that's why we realized it had to be a series. I remember that day really vividly, and I remember your beautiful turquoise Mercedes.
Oh,
It has
yeah.
this sort of beyond, like Bed Bath and Beyond. It's in the beyond category. Magic is happening, and I felt like your co-pilot. The funny thing is we were cruising down the road and you kept kind of turning and looking at me. I was like, what's she seeing? And do I have a crazy aura today? But I think you were just shocked it was fun to have a woman as a co-pilot. Is that true?
Yeah. I think you hit it. I mean, you hit that right on the nail only because I usually don't have women driving with me because it's always Dawn.
Right. Okay, so I don't look like Don, her husband, full disclosure. However, you've brought up a good point, and I think the cat's out of the bag. Both of us will admit we are people, but we don't always like networking with women. That's a weird thing
Yeah.
to admit on a women's show, isn't it?
Totally. And I think that's why I kept looking over. I kept like going, who is this lady that I'm like spilling my guts to, right?
Is she taking me in or is she blowing me off? Is she bored? I was completely transfixed because I think you're so willing to share and you're a magnet. Let's face it. Who doesn't love Lady Melinda Boyer? I know there's some people out there listening that are big fans already, but I have to say, I mean, who would ignore you? You're a force. You're a powerhouse. You're a movie producer. And I had a fangirl sort of going on when I first approached you and said, I have a song that might go in your movie Beyond Reflection. And that was the beginning of us podcasting. Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things, Anna, is I'm going to tell you is I had put it out there to the universe that I really wanted songs to relate to the Beyond Reflection series, right? Or any of our Beyond movies. And when you told me that, I was so blown away. I go, who does that?
Oh, that I said you could have my song and I
Yeah,
don't
like
mind.
who
Just
does
go for it.
that? Who does that?
I've always had a feeling like what's mine is yours, and if we vibe together, I just don't. I feel like we're a tribe, so I just felt like you were a tribe, and I thought, oh, you need a song. Here you go.
Yeah, but we're both Libras, right? So
Mhm.
I think we are the other side of our scale that we need, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say guidance, but maybe to really balance us out and we just keep it funny like all the time,
Wow, I never thought about that. I'm sort of a lopsided scale. I'm a giver, and I just give, 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 and
Yeah,
then I have to remember to put my hand out and receive. But I think the two. You're right. The two of us. Some
yeah.
people call that childlike innocence or just open-hearted, loving nature. I'm always looking to balance out the vibe in a room or, make everyone feel comfortable as a
But
hostess.
also I think, I mean, for me, I know I'm an introvert, right?
Mhm.
And I think because I'm that way, I don't just walk into a room and say, "Hi, everybody." I'm just kind of real quiet and walk in, right?
Okay,
Um,
but full disclosure, your husband has described you as a magnet, and he's talking about, yeah, your milkshake. So we don't have to get derogatory about that. But your husband has had to sometimes step and say, I'm the lucky husband of Lady Melinda Boyer because I mean, yeah, well, there it is. She's a magnet. And I think male or female, but I would relate to you on this point. I am an introvert, and people would
yeah.
not know that as a
Yeah, people
podcaster.
just don't know that, but I think because I am that introvert, people mistaken me for being, um, like, not approachable,
Oh, my mom gets that all the time.
right?
My mom is hearing impaired, so she comes off as aloof, and it's just really that she's not following the conversation unless she can read lips. And
Yeah.
that's what people think she's stuck up. She's the nicest person in the world. Sorry, Mom, if you're out there listening to this. And we are going to uncover some funny and sometimes uncomfortable truths on the show, but it's all in the spirit of self-reflection, because
Absolutely.
at this
Absolutely.
point in life, we want to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen without doing a little shadow work, but we're going to
Yeah.
make it fun. We promise
Well,
that we're going to make it fun.
I mean, you made a really good point because people think that I'm that not approachable person, right?
Mhm.
It can sometimes hinder you from even going and talking to people too. So I just want to make sure that I am approachable, and I
Mhm.
can, and people can come up to me and talk to me, because it really opened my eyes to say, "Oh my gosh, am I just walking in as this big bee?" Right?
No, you had me at a funny comment you made over dinner. And then I thought, when you went to the restroom, I thought, she's my best friend. She's hilarious. And humor is an icebreaker. And you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to expose each other's funny secrets, but we could. I mean, this show is all about our guests enjoying themselves. So we have a terrific lineup, and here's why. Lady Melinda Boyer, in all of her wonderful and truly landmark documentaries, Beyond the Secret, Beyond Physical Matter, which is the first one I met you on, Beyond Physical Life, which is coming up with
Yeah.
near-death experiences. You're a heavy-hitting content producer, but this show that you created, Beyond Reflection, do you want to talk a little bit about why that was compelling for you to produce?
Well, I'll back up a little bit, because I think one of the reasons why I even started the whole women movement was because when my mom was passing about 10 years ago, I was sitting with her in the room, and I realized that my mom lived her life through me.
Mm.
I'm an only child. So everything she did in her life, she made sure that I was in the right course, the right way, the right, you know, everything I did. Like, she watched me like all the time. Like, my mom used to pick me up after school in high school, right? Because she wanted me
Wow.
to make sure that I wasn't hanging out with the wrong crowd. But that really led me down the wrong path, because I always felt like she was hovering over me so much that I just needed an out, right?
Mhm.
So I realized that, about 10 years ago, that, oh my God, my mom's living her life through me. Why did she even do that? But then I also realized that how many women are really out there that are just hovering over their children, and they forget who they are. You know,
100%.
where's the passion? Where's our what is it that we really wanna do in life, what's our
Mhm.
purpose, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then Don asked me about 5 years ago, during COVID, as a matter of fact, during COVID, he asked me, "Babe, what's your purpose? I need you to define what your purpose is, because maybe your purpose is in alignment with mine, and here I am with all these ideas, and I'm just bringing you along," right?
Mhm.
And it made me stop in my tracks and realize, my purpose is to be your wife, to do
Mhm.
whatever you want me to do. I mean, I'm your partner. I'll do anything. But he said, "No, that's not your purpose. What is it that Melinda wants to do?"
Wow.
And I couldn't answer that.
Mhm.
I couldn't answer that. And I realized, oh my God, how many women are out there that have lost their purpose in life?
Mhm.
Where is it that we can look at ourselves in the mirror and say, "Who are you?
Mhm.
And what do you wanna do with you?"
Mhm.
Like, really go inside of us, right?
Mhm.
And I realize there's so many women that don't even know that, and it
Yeah.
drew me to the, like, beyond reflection. How are we reflecting upon ourselves? What are we looking at in the mirror? Because when I look at myself in the mirror, I mean, I look like my mom.
Mm.
I see my mom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I see my mom, but I also see a woman who had no purpose,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
that scares me. That
Mhm.
really scares me, because all of us should have a purpose, and all of us should reflect back on that childhood life of ours as a woman, because we all had dreams. I mean, I thought I was going to be the biggest dancer on Broadway, right? I mean,
I didn't even know that. Oh, I love that. And
right?
oh my gosh, can I tell you, I had a cousin. She grew up to be a record mogul. She runs Ruthless Record. Tamika Wright is my cousin. And Tamika and I used to play games as little girls. And she said, I'm going to be a famous dancer and you're going to play the piano. And I kept thinking as a girl, I don't even like to play the piano. I don't know. I got sidetracked so early on because I didn't just say, nope, I'm going to be center stage and you can take a back seat. And you know what? She never, I mean, she had her twists and turns, but she never backed down from knowing I have a big dream and I'm a big presence and I need to get out there. And I don't know if you do this or if you catch yourself doing this, but sometimes we judge people who are
Oh,
willing to put on a crown. But I don't think that's true in your circle. I think all the women in your circle, like our first guest, Dame Dr. Shatira Wilkes, is proudly wearing the crown and running with it. Her reign must have started way back when.
oh
You have
yeah.
her full story in Beyond Reflection, which is worth the price of admission right there. But she's our
Right.
first guest on this series. I can't wait for people to hear that story.
Yeah.
She told me privately, because I've promoted her on iHeart. She told me, I'm not really interested in telling you that part of my story that's, we'll say, lower vibration, because I'm vibing really high right now. And she will teach many people, even on our show, when you hear
Yeah.
that next
Absolutely.
episode. But I love that she's willing to do that on Beyond Reflection because she's got a story.
Yeah.
And that allows us to go, yeah, I've been playing small too. I have moments of my life where I will fully admit I was playing real small.
Yeah.
So,
But and I think, we talked about this in the car, I think as my life went on as I was growing up, there was twists and turns, but intuitively, I knew I had a bigger purpose.
mhm,
And I think all of us have to tune into that knowing of I need to change what I'm doing. I need to step out of the circle I'm in order to get where I'm going. I don't care if people talk about me or not. And
mhm,
I think there because of as a woman, we're like, no, we're comfortable. We
mm,
become comfortable in our spots, right?
mhm, mhm. You
You
know what's
know?
funny? It's funny that you say that because I've been watching the Martha Stewart series, and there's
Mm.
so much about her that I find relatable. I mean, I've never gone and tried to make it small when I throw a dinner party, and how much flack has she gotten over the years
Oh,
as
yeah.
being too big for her own world. It's time to give all that up. I'm just so happy we're gonna break this down, and I'm gonna hear secrets like you wanted to be a Broadway dancing star. You ever watched Dancing with the Stars and thought that could be me? I have never thought that because I
My mom was so into that. My mom was so into Dancing with the Stars, and I was so angry every time I watched that. And she used to get mad at me. Why are you so mad? Why can't you stay on this show? And I said, because I never made it there.
it's a reminder. That's why I don't like American Idol. I guess I
Yeah,
go,
right.
I had somebody in my world, and I'm not going to out this person, but they said to me at one point, they were giving me kind of a lecture that was I allowed it to bring me down, 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 down till he said, "Oh, Anna, you're too old to chase your dreams." And now that just struck me as funny. That was like, oh, now I know that's not true. I'm going to be living out loud till I'm that New Yorker, that woman Iris who has the big glasses. She's already passed, but the big color, bright, white haired woman, that's me. So I'm never going to be too old. That just made me laugh, but I had to say
It's
that's not
funny you
true.
say that. It's so funny you say that because as I was growing up, people could not challenge me because they knew better. Because if they challenged me, I would prove to them that I could do it.
I could see that in you. I would never, but look at you. You laugh, you giggle. You're the kindest person I know, and yet, if anybody mistakes you for a B, like, as you say, a B with a capital B, I mean, are you kidding me? You just are a woman that goes for what you want. However you've navigated that, congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it had a lot to do with my mom pushing me all the time and always hovering over me because
Mhm,
my mom hovered over me so much that it made me do things that I probably shouldn't have done. So then
mm,
I realized that I could do that, and I think,
mhm.
intuitively and in my mind, in my subconscious mind, it's stuck that if I could get away with this with my mom, how much more can I get away with in my life?
You know what? I love that I love that we're talking about this. You're going to hear this same kind of thing with this episode with Shadira, how we manifest, maybe not from the most ideal intention, but the kind of moments that we find strength can be those moments where we're like,
Oh,
I'm going to
absolutely.
get away with this. I'm going to take the crown and run. I don't
Yeah,
care who's
sure.
chasing me.
Yeah,
The
for
devil,
sure.
the angels, all the naysayers and whatever. You just have the spirit. And this is so exciting, Melinda. I mean, thank you for opening up an opportunity. Number one, to unpack Beyond Reflections, which we'll do. You have incredible guests. You want to foreshadow anything? You want it to be a surprise? Any of our upcoming guests?
Oh my gosh, we have some incredible upcoming guests. They just don't want to miss it. And a lot of them were in a lot of our Beyond movies. A lot of powerhouse women. We have
Mhm.
a new woman that came into my life about 9 weeks ago, and she's going to be on the show. Just incredible story, and mindset is everything. And she talks about that. And I mean, you just don't want to miss these shows because it's very, very, it's really who we are, right? Who are
Mhm.
you? It's the I
Mhm.
am.
And we're allowing people to step in and share that backbone and that identity. I love the theme of Beyond Reflection. When I said I had a few songs, we started with one. I am aware of my vulnerable side as a songwriter, that's a superpower. I'm willing to share the messy parts of my life. I'm so open about it. But what I find when I perform live, especially, is that it just allows people to come as they are and really to share things that are vulnerable. And whether you share them with 2 or 3 or 20,000, suddenly you feel less weighed down by them.
Oh yeah.
We find out we're all made of the same stuff, good and bad, and fear
Yeah.
and love. Yeah. So,
And I think Beyond Reflection too, because it's all about women, right? It's really like, are we really being truthfully and honest and really uplifting each other? And
mm,
that's one of the things that I am so passionate about. It's like, stop stabbing your sisters in the back. Stop
mhm,
talking about them when they're not there, because it's about uplifting and cherishing who they are as an individual. And I get it. There's a lot of women out there that can be very fake, but
mhm,
it's time to get real.
mhm. I'm glad you said that because not a single moment goes by when I see your name pop up on my caller ID. Do I think, oh, I don't want to talk to her? I always go, oh, sometimes I wish I wasn't making the mac and cheese or standing in line where I can't just giggle with you. But I've always had that lift, like, she's my friend and she's choosing me. Like,
Oh, you're so
wow.
sweet.
It's just true, Melinda. That's you. Don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk, and it emanates from you. And I hope our audience feels we're extremely loving women. And we've worn many hats. We've been executive producers. We've done all kinds of
Mm,
wonderful things. But I hope our audience understands that this show is where we unpack our love, our best intentions. It is the least stressful thing I do in my life. It is the biggest reward because I get to be with you. That's no
yes.
joke.
I mean, that's exciting. I know
Yeah.
I get to be with you.
Well, stay tuned for lots of laughs. And yeah, I mean, sharing life moments. I think the other thing I love about this theme is that some of us look in the mirror and we're still that stressed out little girl or
Mhm.
teenager. Isn't that weird? Of women of a certain age are still stressed out. We break that down, don't we?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna blurb a little secret here, because one of the women that I have in the Beyond Reflection is Marie Diamond's daughter.
Love
And
that.
yeah, and she's in college, and she talks about it all happens in that college era, right? That we all
Mhm.
come in, and it all the talk starts. And she talks about that a little bit, and I'm really hoping that we're going to touch that younger generation of women that really can come out here and say, yes, I'm powerful and I know it, but I don't need to down some other women just to get where I want to go. I want to be able
Mhm.
to uplift and cherish that friendship that I have with more women,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Not just the women we're surrounded around, but more women. And she
Yeah.
talks about that, and I'm really excited about that because it's just I think it'll start changing or reminding us that it's really about uplifting each other and not pushing each other down.
It's really great you brought this up, and I can't wait to meet Enya in person and give her a hug because she's got a famous mother, Marie, and I really can't wait to have this conversation with her directly then too, because when I was that age, I was in Les Mis in Australia, and I remember a 30-year-old woman in the cast came up to me and taught me the meaning of real female friendship. And it was a turning point for me because as a theater major and amongst beautiful women competing for parts, sometimes nobody got cast, this woman showed up in my life and taught me the power of what you just said. Stop competing and really support each other and understand there's more room to grow as you share that center stage or limelight. And it changed my life. But had I not had that experience right then, I probably would have stressed right on through my 30s, 40s, 50s, and it's like, it's a gift to get that insight, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I wish I would have had that insight years ago, because I think until now, you say, oh, Melinda's a powerhouse, blah, blah, blah. I don't see myself as that. I just see myself as a regular person, just like everybody else. Right. And I told Don, he goes, well, babe, you're a lot different, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not any different than any other woman because yeah, I've done a lot of accolades and I've done a lot of stuff, but to me, it was just something I needed to do, or I had a passion to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just more of the fact that I don't see myself as that. I
Mm-hmm.
just see myself as a regular individual woman that wants to help other women, and be who you are and just help them love themselves first because
Yeah.
it took me a long time to understand I have to love me before I can love anybody else.
This is why it's helpful to unpack it with each other, because then you can reflect and be each other's mirror and talk through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's very tricky, isn't it? Self-love is a slippery slope. And some days we're all in, and some days it's just a mask. I struggle a lot with self-love and true self-reflection. And I'm a comedian, so I get through life laughing at myself. But truly, it stems from being that little girl that moved very often. We moved from schools. I had a weird name, which is why nobody knows me as Anastasia. Because back in the 60s and 70s, that was not a cool name. Sorry, Disney wasn't around yet to buoy that up. But yeah, I just felt really awkward and had to keep laughing at myself so other people wouldn't laugh at that name, the new kid. And yet I had all these talents just kind of bubbling up, and art and music, as you know, is kind of my backbone for getting me through that. But people stared at me when I sang, and I kept thinking it was because I was bad at it. And then I figured out it was because I was good at it, but you didn't hear a little voice like that from a third grader. She sounds like Joni Mitchell. Where's that voice coming from? Okay.
I know, right?
Oh, I just feel,
I think we are our best deceivers of ourselves, right?
yeah.
Because we deceive everything that we do and everything that we're passionate about and we love to do. And I think that's why so many people just don't go forward to what their dreams are, because they feel like they're going to be laughed at.
Yeah, it's funny. Here's my little secret. I thought if I didn't win an Oscar by age 30, I'll just give up acting. Well, 30 went by pretty fast, right?
I'm still waiting for my Oscar, my Grammy.
I'm more hopeful now. Yes, I do believe.
Yeah. I don't care if I'm 80 and I get it. I'll be happy.
Okay, Katharine Hepburn, I can see it on Golden Pond. That's going to be your role. You're going to make a splash. And I'm going to be cheering you on. Did I just snort? I thought that was not funny, Melinda. I believe you. It's just joy is bubbling up. Well, it's so much better with a friend. So thanks for taking this joyride with me.
Well, thank you for opening up the doors to do this. I'm really excited. I mean, this is just the beginning. You really took me out of my comfort zone. You know, this
Wow.
has really taken me out of the box because I told you this before. I always wanted Don in front of me. Like
Mhm.
Don's the speaker. He knows all the knowledge, right? He has all that. I'll
Mhm.
just stay in the background and I'll just do everything else, right? But Don told me 5 years ago, you need to find your passion and you need to get out there now. And I'm like, no. He goes, everybody loves you. They don't love me. He goes, they love you.
Maybe I'll just keep it. He's a very snappy dresser.
Yeah, that he is. Yes, he is.
I love
Yes,
you.
he
I
is.
love you, Don Boyer. But yes, people do love you, and that he's correct.
Right?
There's a reason why certain people will just always pick up the phone when they see Melinda Boyer. No
Yeah,
disrespect to him. He is Sir
yeah,
Don Boyer. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
he's definitely the master of the mentors for sure.
and that was my entry point to meeting you. So I will tell you in podcast land that go visit that episode with Sir Don Boyer. It is a benchmark for the Discover Your Potential show. We hit a record high of 165,000 downloads, and I don't see why this show is not going to be any different because the secret's out. Lady Melinda is in the
It's
house.
full of love and
It's
passion.
so full of love and passion and silliness and good secrets, and self-reflection is a journey where you need a friend.
Absolutely.
I stand by
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. But I'm grateful. What a joy to find you in this stage of my life and take the
Yes.
joyride with you. So
Yes, me too. I am ready and willing and to do it all.
I am with you on that. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, do your part, hang out with us, and really do not miss the episode with Dame Dr. Lady Shatira Wilkes. I'm giving her extra Lady Dame Doctor. She is a significant person in the world, in our universe, and she's also our friend. So please stay tuned for that episode.
We'll see you all then.
See you later.